Hey y'all, just a heads up. This might be some minor, major, I don't know, medium spoilers for Black Clover. I'm not sure, man. Whatever you deem is major, minor, it's all subjective. So I'm gonna be talking about Black Clover, and if y'all here for it, y'all here for it. If not, I'll holler at y'all later. So yeah. Yo, so we're talking about Black Clover today. It's been a while since I thought about Black Clover, but for the most part, that's what I'm getting into. So I've been rereading Black Clover for quite a while now, I guess I'll say, and I've been enjoying the ride. You know, the anime's been back for about a couple weeks now. I was about to say a specific amount of time, but my if anybody knows me, my sense of time is just wrecked now at this point in my life. So yeah, I've just been rereading it because the manga is just giving us filler for right now. To the best of my knowledge, it's filler. But even so, it's still really good stuff. Y'all should probably check that out. But yeah, so my thing today, I guess what this whole video is about this dude like right here, and Yuno. Yuno is intriguing to me as a character, more so how he fits within the, I guess you can call it a conspiracy theory or some type of just me looking to connect the dots. And this video might go somewhere, it might not go anywhere. Just if you're here, you're here. If you're along for the ride, hey, more power to you. So yeah, man, I'm gonna go ahead and just dive right into my nonsense, I guess. So basically what I'm getting at is that as I've been rereading Black Clover and I got to the elf reincarnation arc, I was like, okay, this is cool. And shout out to Links Forte, because we had been talking about this for a while, you know, back in the day when because at first I was only like an anime only kind of guy. You know, I was like, okay, Black Clover, the anime is fire, it's lit, I'm here for it. And then the elf reincarnation arc happened, and I'm just like, all right, we got the elves, they've been reincarnated, cool. You know, he's an elf, he's the son or the child, the child elf of Lit and Lumiere's sister, basically. So I'm like, all right, cool, he's some type of, because I had always had a type of and I'm in between thoughts right now. I do that at times. So I'm like, all right, he's probably a descendant of the elves or just the elf hybrid. He has some type of like connection to the elves, which is why, you know, it made sense why he had the wind magics, etc. So with that, I'm like, all right, cool. You know, being incorporated, he's been reincarnated as an elf. No harm, no foul. I thought it was a pretty cool idea. It links things together that need to be linked, and I didn't really think anything of it for a while. But then as the manga chapters, as like the anime kind of went away for a little bit, and I was kind of dabbling in the manga because I heard it was fire. I heard it was a lot more fire than the actual anime, which I mean that's a video for a whole nother topic or a whole nother time or whatever the case may be. But what I noticed jumping right into the manga of like where we were at the moment going into what we're getting into, and this I guess is the spoiler territory. I guess I should probably say this, but I've already done the disclaimer at the beginning, so hey, I warned you. So yeah, Yuno is a prince pretty much from the Spade Kingdom. Yuno's a royal, and when I read this in the manga, and I'll probably have some panels up at various moments. I won't just be pointing to stuff and stuff be popping up. I might do that now that I'm getting all sidetracked. But what I'm getting at is this raised flags for me personally as I was reading through this, because I'm like, wait a minute. Everybody we saw during the elf reincarnation arc, they weren't royals. They were nobles. There were people of like, I guess, quote unquote, some people were of note, other people were just like regular common folk. Even, you know, people in Aster's hometown in the Forsaken realm, they became elves. So I mean, it was really kind of just like the weird luck of the draw, you know, short end of the stick situation. And as I read that, I'm like, that doesn't make any sense, because as we look back to the elf reincarnation arc that I've seen so far, none of the royals actually became elves. You know what I mean? So that's something that I went back and I was looking to see like, hey, well, this doesn't make any sense because royals weren't elves. So now I'm more along the lines of, did we just do this because it is Yuno going to be the vehicle that links the plot to, what am I trying to say? Is he going to be the thing that's connecting all of these dots? But does it really matter in the grand scheme of things? Because I mean, on paper, at first value, as soon as you look at it, everything is like, oh yeah, we're good, we're moving forward. It's how everybody's linked together. And I'm not saying that as a character, as like a whole, is keeping everything connected. That's definitely not what I'm saying. I'm in this particular instance because he played his character himself played a pivotal role in the elf reincarnation and fighting the Zangrid, the devil that was inside of Patry, and everything's like that. So I'm like, all right, he's close to the center of a lot of things, but you would say, okay, he's one of the protagonists, he should be close to a lot of the things going on. Totally agreeable. So, but what I'm getting at is none of the other royals were like reincarnated as elves when they were awakened. So I just found that to be weird, and so I started just looking into it because I thought maybe it was the reincarnation spell that Zangrid used back in the day. Maybe it just trickle down effect from, it was 500 years ago, so a lot of people have come and gone in 500 years, and it could have just been that was the situation. Excuse me. But then I saw where I went back in the manga, and I might have that panel like up here somewhere. Excuse me. But I kept seeing that. I'm like, okay, so was it just a reincarnation spell? Like, do the souls keep getting reincarnated into the next person until they're awakened? But then in the panel it says Zangrid sent them to the future. Like, they're reincarnated, but they're in the future, and in X amount of time he'll do what he needs to do to get his body back and different things like that. So I'm like, all right, now we're using time travel, but at the same time I'm just more along the lines of, because time travel and time magic, it's not anything new to Black Clover, because we have freaking Julius. He has time magic, so it's in the realm of possibility that can happen. So now I'm just like, well, how does this actually work? What are the details to the basis of this spell, basically? And how is it that this particular royal, even though he's from another kingdom, and it might be a geography based thing, it might just be I might just be looking too deep into anime, into manga. I might just be like, hey, listen, we have a hole here, and this is me just actively trying to fill that hole. So with that being said, souls being sent to the future, that's a whole situation. All right, cool, bam. But none of the other royals had an elf soul in them. And then also it raises the question, because I was like, if they were just sent to the future, and there wasn't, let's say, like, if we're kind of stepping into, I guess, my own headcanon at this point, but if we send souls to the future and there isn't like a range on this spell, you know what I mean? Because majority of the elves were in the Clover Kingdom, but why did this one particular soul be sent? You know what I mean? Like, now I'm just getting into like my thought process. Okay, so it's from the Spade Kingdom, but then it's like, how does that actually work? And based on like time travel, it's more like I guess somebody with time, somebody who's studied time, or whoever's a better expert on this than me, can let me know in the comment section down below. But just along the lines of like, all right, this didn't happen anywhere else, and I can kind of back that up with other instances of people mentioning the Elf Reincarnation Act and different things like that. With the Heart Kingdom Queen, she's like, yeah, I know all about what happened in the Clover Kingdom, but that nothing happened in the Heart Kingdom. So I'm thinking, why did this one rogue soul end up in the Spade Kingdom? Because was born in the Spade Kingdom. Like, that's a thing. And so that's why it's kind of messing my brain up, because I'm like, yeah, he was born there, and then he came to the Clover Kingdom, and they left him on the doorstep with Asta. So at what point did the soul portion happen? And that's why I'm just like, it doesn't really make any sense to me about how this actually happens. And so now I'm like, okay, so because we didn't hear, like, the queen didn't notice. She's like, yeah, I know what happened to Julius Novacrona, how he lost majority of his power. I know about, she knew about everything. but nobody mentioned, oh yeah, the Heart Kingdom had elves causing a ruckus. You know what I mean? So it seems like this is an isolated incident, but the variable in the matter is Yuno. And that's why I'm just like, I just really don't understand this at all. Because nobody else talks about this, and it wasn't as if, I mean, we wouldn't know what happens in the Spade Kingdom because we're just getting to know the Spade Kingdom. So it doesn't make any sense to where we would have any information on that or not. I just find it weird that no other royal but Yuno had a soul, but Yuno's the protagonist, and then one of the protagonists. But then at the same time, it's like, is he or is he not? You see what I'm saying? We're getting into the meat and potatoes of it right now, because there wasn't really a range on the reincarnation spell, and we saw the arrays because they mentioned other Nero. I'm just call her Nero because her real name evades me right now. But she was like, yeah, she was excluded from the nature mana region basically. And I'm thinking, well, the natural mana region, my bad. My apologies on that. But basically it all makes sense because I was looking at how spells were cast in 500 years ago by the elves. And so what I was looking at, because you know how now in the manga we have the arrays, they're incorporating arrays into the Clover Magic Knights and showing them how to amplify their spells based off of using these arrays, but it's only with people who have natural magic affinities, such as like Luck, Leopold, Charmy, and some other people. So Noel as well. But with the arrays that are amplifying magic, that was done 500 years ago by the elves, and Lit did it before he turned himself into the mega demon we see at the beginning of almost every episode. So I was like, oh, okay, so could this have possibly happened? You see what I'm saying? Like it's getting weird because it's not as if the elves were like a nomadic race or anything like that. And now I'm just kind of going down a rabbit hole of my thoughts on just how this is all set up, because we don't know. We know it was near the Clover Kingdom, you know, but it wasn't like it's getting messy at this point. The more I pull at this thread, the messier it actually gets. So that's what I'm getting at right now, is that I just don't understand how this could have happened when it didn't happen anywhere else, but just this one rogue soul. And I think at this point it's just along the lines of, am I just getting too deep into this? Because I keep reading over this particular arc. I keep trying to find out like what is a key difference between this, and I can't find anything. Maybe somebody can break this down to me in the comment section, because I just don't get it. Yuno himself is an enigma of just like mystery, and there isn't really a lot of answers for that. And I've been, like I said, I'm keeping up with the current like run of the manga right now. So like if any new information came out, like I would be on top of it. So let me know what you guys think about my weird conspiracy theory, or just my legitimate problem with the elf reincarnation arc and Yuno being a royal being elf reincarnated, because I feel like that kind of backtracks, and it also it's not, I guess not backtrack isn't the right word, but at the same time it's just more along the lines of, all right, we had it, and it wasn't even, I can't even really say it was a rule. Like now you can see I'm getting flustered by it, because I'm like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. So elves get reincarnated, but they weren't reincarnated in the royals, but this one royal is actually been reincarnated, but he's from a different kingdom, but he is he's a citizen of the Clover Kingdom. And it just doesn't make, like, time travel makes it weird. And I think that's my general problem. It's not being able to connect those dots to be able to successfully say, this is the reason why this particular royal was elf reincarnated, and this is why it makes sense. And I think that's the biggest thing, because like I've been racking my brain. Like I've written a script on this before, that I would do a video like a couple like months ago, and I just never got around to it, because I never had anything that was like super concrete as to an answer on why this actually happened. Because again, like my main points are, it didn't happen in any other Clover, it didn't happen in any other kingdom. Like we didn't get news of, like, it could have been like a one-off line like anywhere in the kingdom of like, yeah, my cousin in the Heart Kingdom, or like, you know, my such and such in the Spade Kingdom, or wherever else, or in the, you know, my, you know, this, an associate of mine in the Diamond Kingdom, they having, you know, the same reports of this incident going on, and that wasn't even the case. So I'm like, how can this be an isolated incident, but also to like the variables of the, I guess, the criteria of who becomes an elf and who doesn't, you know what I mean? So now I'm just talking in circles. Now I'm just kind of racking my own brain again, just visually on camera. So with that being said, I think this is a good time to wrap up this video. If you guys enjoyed me rambling, just talking about Black Clover, if you want me to talk about something else Black Clover-ish or adjacent, just let me know in the comment section down below. And just give me your thoughts. Just give me your thoughts on, like, am I just crazy? Am I just looking too deep in the anime? Or does this really not make sense? If you, and let me know too, if you actually just didn't even think about it. If you just was reading or watching the show and was like, oh yeah, that makes sense, and just didn't think twice about it. So yeah, I'll holler at y'all later. And yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. And I will definitely holler at y'all later. Peace.